What's happening, Andy? Here I'm joined today by John of Collabrance. How are you, John? What's happening?
I'm doing great, Andy. The sun's shining and business just keeps going up.
Very cool. Well, the sun is not shining here in Rochester. First of all, happy birthday. Uh,
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, 29 again.
Yes.
Very
I made
nice.
it. Yeah, I made it another year. Yeah.
That's well, we all do. I just had mine a couple weeks ago, and so it's always, it's always nice to get a little happy birthday, a little
Yeah.
but that's not what we're here to talk about. I didn't actually know that until you just told me. I would have had some kind of a gift or sent you a hat. Maybe we'll
Oh,
send you one
yeah.
post video here.
I
But
like
we
that hat
wanted
you got
to,
on.
yeah, well, we got today we have an IBPI hat on. We've got a lot of Great America hats. So Great America is, as most people know, big leasing company in our world. My followers, my viewers on this channel, a lot of office equipment resellers, and you are with Collabrance, which is it's a part of Great America, right? So
Yeah.
if you could just maybe take a step back and for those who don't know what Collaborance is, who Collaborance is, give us the overview and then maybe tell us what you do for them, how long you've been with Great America and all that.
Sure. Well, so Collaborance was created to provide help and service to our dealers, dealers who were already providing managed IT, who wanted to grow their business by adding managed IT. Frequently, if you're selling a computer, your customer says, "Hey, can you help me with the computer?" So our goal is to just to make the dealers do more and do it better. And we do not sell directly to customers our services. So much like the Great America Leasing side of the business, where we're going through the dealers, Collaborance also offers services only through the dealers. We do not compete with you for the managed IT services. So if you need help with networks, firewalls, backups, providing user support, we have staff on hand to provide those services. Um, your customers could call in for password resets or help with their Outlook, or you got a firewall and Wi-Fi and need that managed for one of your customers. We can provide that for you. We're your lever to help you grow your business. You don't have to hire an IT specialist or a network engineer to be able to sell those services. We provide that service, and you service the customer.
So that's very cool. That's an interesting model. Definitely fits in nicely with office equipment resellers who are either just getting into, or I'm sure some who've been in it for quite a bit. So, for example, help desk services, you provide those to a customer who might be a dealer, a big dealer, a small dealer, but you help them so that they don't need to spend their own, they don't need to build their own help desk. You have
Right.
one established already. They pay a fee. How is that kind of?
Yeah, so we do a monthly fee based on per user. So we would set those users up with tools on their PC to be able to connect. They can call a toll-free number and get one of our user support agents. They can do chat, they can do email. But we've got that service desk here. It's already up and running. You plug your business into it, have your customers. We'll even act as if we're part of your team. So now they call in and your ABC equipment dealer will answer the phone. It's like, thank you for calling ABC equipment dealer. How can I help you?
And so with you guys, it's I think one of the things I thought it was kind of interesting was, it's you're brand agnostic, right? So
Right.
you support everything.
We do. We have a few brands so for instance, if it's going to be a firewall, we're a Fortinet dealer. We have Fortinet engineers who are certified and years of experience with that. So if you want to help out your end customer with firewall and with Wi-Fi in their office, we would prefer that to be Fortinet just because we're ready to go with patching. We're ready to go with any kind of security setups. Um, we know all of that, and we can deliver that seamlessly. But we can and do support other brands. So if you already have some other brand of systems in place, we can support that. It's just that we can give that extra level of engineering and expertise with Fortinet.
Plus, you guys have that tie-in with the resellers. They, probably already have a relationship with the leasing side of the house. I
Yeah.
imagine, how does that play into your world? How does that benefit these dealers that's, already a part of the company, the leasing and
Sure. Well, if you're
services.
buying, if you're selling laptops and network equipment, backup devices to your customers, you have the option to lease them. It's the same thing with Collaborance. We can build that in, and it's all the service of Great America, and we're providing that monthly based fee for providing all those services on maybe on even on top of the lease payment.
Well, that's pretty cool. So if I've got a big deal on the table, I can, is it split up? Is my managed services contract going to be one contract? Can I bundle it in with my office equipment, with my document management? Can everything go under one lease?
You could bundle it in, and you can even have the term be the same. So if it's a 5-year equipment lease, have 5 years of coverage
Okay.
for the
Well,
user support and networks.
very cool. Very cool. So, I do know Collaborance. Obviously, I've worked with Great America for many years now. And
Mhm.
but it's always good to just sort of a reminder. I know we spent a lot of time talking about all of the different areas of, patch share and just the leasing that you guys do and seeing you guys at events and stuff. But sometimes it's just hard to cover everything because you do a lot of different things to support the dealer channel. One of the things I think that makes you, kind of unique is that you are this you make your money in this channel. It's no secret. You're not a global bank. You're not in 200 different markets and the office equipment leasing and the type of leasing for Collaborants, that's the bread and butter. That is the company. So critical importance. I think that's one of the things that makes you guys you know someone that the resellers really like, because they work with you very closely in a lot of different areas. I did want to talk to you. I had a few areas we wanted to cover, and one of them I thought you'd be kind of a good guy to ask on this. Let's talk passwords, password management. What are you guys doing? We discussed this off screen, prepping for this call. Different areas that you guys are helping the resellers, and one of them that came up, one of the big trends right now, obviously password management, and with what's going on with ransomware. And let's talk about, what are you seeing, what are you guys doing, and so what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I'll tell you, passwords, they're like the battleground right now. Uh, Pretty much most businesses in the small to medium business market are using Microsoft 365. It's easy. You buy the licenses, you plug in, you get email, you get Microsoft Word, you get Excel, you get Teams. So it's a seamless experience from a business productivity standpoint. And the problem is that the bad actors, the criminals, they see this too. It's different from when everybody had their PCs just on site, and then you had to break through and kind of get into those. Well, now you can attack 365. So one of the easiest and cost effective, because it literally costs you nothing to have a password. So there's no, you don't have to spend $1 to have a password. You just create it. But what we see is a lot of folks don't understand what's necessary, what goes into good password policy to help you protect yourself. We do this all day, every day. So if your customers are using Microsoft 365, we can help you buy the licenses, but then also help you set it up so that you're using those passwords properly, and protecting yourself.
So, I mean, are you helping when you help the dealers with this strategy? Are you helping them, consulting with them that this is something you pass along to your customers, to the end users? Do you have software that helps automate this? Like how do SMBs go about handling this? What's the strategy?
Sure. Well, we have a standard of what the password length would be, how often you should change it, what happens when somebody tries to log in with your credentials. There are things that you can set up that help the system to fight that. And so it's not so much as installing something on somebody's machine as much as just knowing the right ways to set it up to be safe.
Okay. So password, that's one. And then I imagine that's a big part of that is the training, right? And
Yes.
that kind of leads me into my next question. We wanted to talk
Sure.
about educating the customers. And,
Yeah.
honestly, that's got to be, to me, that's the biggest weakness of any company, myself included, right? I'm more likely to click some email where they got me, and then having some nefarious scan come through in my, pretty rural area that I'm in. I'm not as concerned about, I'm not in a big, industrial area. I'm not in a big metropolitan area. So I don't think my Wi-Fi, although I, at a conference I was at, they did use me as an example of what was on the dark web, and they had everything about me on, in this presentation they did about Andy, which was a little scary inside of my house, and I mean, just everything. Like, so, it's out there, and it's passwords are critical, but it comes to training, right? It comes to knowing what to do,
Yeah.
how to do it. So how do you help these guys stay on top of that, especially in the SMB area where these companies don't have their typically have on staff IT departments. How do you help them with this? How do you
So,
educate?
so you're right. I mean, people are the weak link. So we're the ones that do the clicking, and clicking is what can get you into trouble. And so within the channel, there's different providers who provide security awareness training, and it's online. It's at the individual's pace. You can track what the users are doing. So like I said, there's multiple providers that do this. We've got experience with those providers and how to set those systems up. And then we can then help the dealers and their customers make the best use of that. There are also a lot of just very free things, and just being aware and understanding how to coach even your own teams within your dealers, about what are
Yeah.
what are good practices for awareness and safety.
I mean, it's bad enough thinking that your customer gets hacked, but you have to consider yourself, protecting
Yeah.
yourself first and foremost. So are these modules, are these training? Is this just, I'm working with Collabrance and I want to help my customers get trained, right? So you have this, is it an online course? Is it a regular monthly or
Yeah,
quarterly?
they're
How
different.
does
There's different providers, and they have existing content.
Cool.
So if you want to train somebody on email compromise, or what is phishing, um, you physical security of your building, and they have various subjects where they already have content created. Some of them are straightforward and simplistic, where somebody can go in and do a very short training in just a couple minutes. Some of them are much more involved. You can even go so far as to having testing at the end to see if the users are, if they're understanding what they've been instructed on. But really, the idea is to expose your customers and help your customers expose their employees, on just how to be safe when they're working on
Well,
their
so do
computer.
you take it the next step, which is testing them on what they've hopefully learned? Like, and,
Yeah,
and I mean, like real world, like, do you send the phishing emails to see if you can get,
yeah,
Midge and accounting to click on it?
yes. So they call that a phishing campaign
Yeah.
in a lot of the different systems, and they have templates that you can set up to put information in there, and you can select who it goes to. There may be certain individuals where you don't want them bothered by this kind of thing. Um, like in certain medical practices, you don't want that showing up on a caregiver's tablet or something of that nature. But yeah, you can help them. You can give them the training and then send out one of these phishing email campaigns, and then see who clicks on it. And most of the systems have something where if they were to click on the link, which would be the wrong thing that you don't want them to do, then it would provide a friendly message to say, "Hey, this was a test. If it had been a real phishing email, you'd be in trouble right now."
Oh, you'd be
Um,
dead. So fake phishing email, we just print like a 12 by 18 picture of them and put it up in the lobby, with a
yeah.
Midge
Oh
got
yeah, the,
got
the wall
today.
of shame.
Yeah, the wall of shame. I mean,
Yeah.
it's almost like you have to do something that drastic because I mean, I've seen stuff come through here that I've clicked on, I'm sure, or almost clicked on many times. And
Yeah.
even the fake email that they put together was so cleverly written. At that conference I was at, it was at the ECS conference. You guys were a huge part of, actually a major sponsor of that.
Mhm.
And somebody from ConnectWise took my information and put it up there, and but just showed how easy it was for a bad party to be able to find this information, access it, and then do bad things. And so the example was like they got into my Evite, I think, account, which I didn't really remember. Like, I don't, it's been a long time since I've done an Evite party, but probably 15 years. And but they got in there and it was an old password that they found.
Yeah.
And so they found a few people who were at the conference. They did an Evite from me, right? And it all looked so legit, and it came from my actual, it wasn't even a fake account, it came from my real account. because they hacked in. And they got permission from me before they did this. This wasn't, as bad as it sounds, but it just shows you like I'm in this industry, right? And I'm as vulnerable or as anybody apparently. So
Yeah.
it's
So,
scary.
so that's a technique. That's a technique. So you're at a ConnectWise show, and somebody asked you a question and got information from you, and that's what they call social engineering. So
Hmm. Hmm.
that's another subject that comes up in these training systems that you can get. And speaking of, we joke about a wall of shame. Really, so training is frequently an HR type activity.
Yeah.
So these systems all have, if you're under HIPAA compliance requirements, these systems all understand that they're built around that, and they help you protect the privacy of your employees.
So when we talk about training, I had some notes here from our, conversations earlier about how it's gone mainstream. What
Yeah.
what what did you guys mean by that? How do you define that as being mainstream now?
So, well, there's like I mentioned with HIPAA compliance, it's
Yeah.
that's a requirement. There's many other forms of compliance in banking. If you're publicly traded, which is probably not going to be most of the customers that and dealers that we're talking to here, you'd have Sarbanes-Oxley compliance. But there's all kinds of different compliances that you're could be responsible for. If you're in California, New York, Massachusetts, different states have different requirements for what's in there, but that's a big thing. Um, a few years ago in Europe, they went through the GDPR, which does not apply if you're doing a business in the U.S. But that's the direction things are going. Is you need to track these kinds of things, and the wonderful thing about our business is that through the cloud, you can offer these products out there on a monthly basis and tailor it to your employees' needs.
But GDPR even is I know it never really made it here to the same extent, but anybody who does business with companies who, do business with European companies, that's a big deal, right? HIPAA and all these other things you mentioned, these are here. Sarbanes-Oxley, just all these different certifications and classifications, and you know, you have to play by the rules. You have to have everything, you know, done the right way. Your T's crossed, I's dotted, all that. Otherwise, you know, not only are you vulnerable, but then you're responsible, right? And
Sure.
that's kind of where we're at, I think, in the industry right now is I think there's been so many articles about even just massive companies getting hacked and ransomware and just the amount of money it costs them, afterwards to clean this up when
Yeah.
they thought they were protected. And so it's not just about having the protection, but it's about staying vigilant. It's about this education that you guys mentioned. You have a technical guide for this. And so is this something available to all dealers? Is this something, that you provide for dealers to give to their end users? What's the guide about as we kind of wind this up?
So we have a lot of information through our portal that you can go in and look at. And frequently, sometimes it's just asking a question. We'll pull one of our people who has experience in an area. Compliance and cybersecurity is one of my fortes. So we'll get a call from one of our MSPs dealers asking about SOC 2 assessment that they're working through, which we're familiar with, and we can give some good advice on that. Standards and benchmarks and other types of material. We have access to that. We've got experience with it. So again, as part of that great America, we're here about your success. So we have access to many of those materials, and we can point you in the right direction for
And this isn't not a new program. Collaborance, how long's Collaborance been part of Great America?
that. About 14, 15 years now.
Wow. And how long have you been there?
I'm a newbie. I'm just 2 years in.
Just 2 years. You
Yeah,
are new.
yeah. I spent a long time in manufacturing, biotech, different areas, big enterprise IT, and decided that I'm towards the end of my career. I wanted to maybe do something a little bit different, and this Collaborance opportunity came along, and I'm sure glad I did, because Great America is, if you were to say come up with a new sentence that describes Great America, it's like we say what we mean what we say, um, and we do what we say.
Well, dealers, I
So
know you're a company that dealers tend to have very good things to say about. especially on the leasing side. The Collabrance side, I'm not as familiar with, but I know you have a large number of dealers on both sides, and then MSPs on both sides that you guys are kind of moving into. I know when I was at I think it was IT Nation. You actually had a booth down there, which I was surprised to see, and I saw the team, the Great American team, at that event. So
Mhm.
it's not just about, and we all know this in the office equipment side. Nobody wants to stay in copiers forever. Everyone's looking for what else can I do, and this is such
Yeah.
a natural, you know, peripheral industry, managed
Mhm.
services. So as we wrap up, 2 years in, what are some of the things that you really enjoyed about working with Collaborants and the dealer community? This is a different channel for you. You didn't grow up in it. What's been some of the fun stuff that you've enjoyed?
Just the sheer variety of the different types of dealers, and that's geographic and what their customer base is, and the different things in there. And I got to be honest, so I purposely moved my desk. So we're all in cubicles, right? But I moved myself in the middle of the user support team, and so all day long, every day, I hear I hear the conversations. I hear because we have a little script, how we answer the phone, and I got to say, um, these folks that do our user support, they're just amazing. The cheerfulness, and the concern and the care that they obviously show when they're helping people, is amazing, and I'm humbled by that. Um, I'm I'm kind of a short on patience kind of guy, and I need variety. But these are people that they're you know the reason they're getting a phone call is not just somebody to say hi, it's because they've got a problem with their computer. And these folks are just amazing at how they help people every day, and both small problems like a password reset, but bigger problems like our network stopped working, we can't get to the internet.
Well, that's a
What's going to
big,
be today?
yeah.
Yeah, today it's like, well, your business is down, can't get to the internet.
That's a,
And
that's a different thing for these guys. And
yeah,
copiers was always, we'll get there in two hours or 3 hours, and
yes,
and we felt like the whole company's world was ending, but that's nothing, right? Like, now nobody can do
right,
anything, right?
yeah,
Let
yeah,
alone print, right? You can go copy all you want right now. It's about the only thing you can do when your network is down. You can't email, you
yeah,
can't do anything. So everyone's frozen. Um, and it's important. It's a great area to be in. You guys are, have been a long time supporter of the industry of dealers. So thanks so much for taking the time and
you
coming on
bet.
and telling us all about the program. And it was really great to talk to you. And to meet you. So have a
Yeah.
have a happy birthday, and any last
Well,
shout
thanks
out to
again.
anybody.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure. Yeah,
All right. Well,
good
John,
talking.
have a great day, and we'll talk
Yeah.
soon. Take
All
care.
right. Bye bye now.